Hey everyone, it's Jake with Marine Diagnostic Services. Today I'm going to show you a battery pack that we've been building. It's a modular system that we're building for boats, RVs, grandma's shed out back, anything off grid that you'd like. It's pre-wired, ready to go, so that you have all your Victron communication already set up. Everything's tested. These systems are really good if you're kind of like trying to get things on a time frame and you don't want to have to deal with any situations that arise from either a defective product or a bad connection or a bad wire. We completely bench test these units before we send them out. Take you over to them on our bench over here. This is the unit. It is a 4 battery setup. We can build them bigger, but this is good for quite a lot of applications. This is a lot of power. We can build these in 24, 12 volt, 48. Typically that order is the most common, is the 24 volt. But it consists of your link distribution system, and we in a lot of applications we'll throw a DC-DC charger on there and pre-wire all that, and then it's got all your T-fuses and everything. Everything's networked for the batteries to the Cerbo. It just saves a lot of time on setup if you're trying to put these in and you haven't done them before. Some of that setup can be a little time consuming and somewhat frustrating. All of our connections are double hex crimped, and we use heavy duty anchor lugs and tinned wire for everything. All overcurrent protection is very robust, and we don't have any problems with heat dissipation up to 500 amps on these systems. So quite a lot of power, but most systems you're going to be running about 200, 300 amps for the most part. If you're really pushing things, if you've got a 12 volt system or 24 volt system and you're running 2 inverters, you might see a little bit over that. But we thermal test everything and torque everything down. Everything is marked for showing that everything's been torqued with tamper resistant stuff. But what I really wanted to show you today was the way we're networking some of the USB connections. One of the problems that we run into, especially on boats, is if we have a lot of solar controllers or DC-DC chargers, how do we get that information to the Cerbo, which is located in a completely different part of the boat? Running 10 USB extensions or really long VE direct cables can get a little bit ridiculous, and we need a way to consolidate all those signals and all those cables together and run them to the location of the Cerbo. The problem that we ran into is we would bring everything to a powered hub and then run one USB cable up there, but the USB cable has a big fat end on the end of it. Makes it kind of hard to run that through, run something like this through bulkheads and fish it around corners and whatnot. It'd be a lot easier if we could just do Cat6 cable and network cable instead. So I'll tell you my secret here or whatever. One thing I like about this industry is everybody just shares knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we run all our stuff. We run the network cable from the battery to our shunt, and then from our shunt we come out and we go to right now we're using a non-waterproof coupler, but we use a waterproof coupler or heat shrink it, and then we can we can run this up to our Cerbo where it's located. But with the USB connection, again, we were having to run something like this all the way up to the Cerbo. So now what we started doing is we take the cable and we run it to a converter. That gets us into Cat6 cable. And now I just have to run 2 of these guys together to get to wherever I'm putting it to, up at the helm or wherever I want to mount the Cerbo and the screen. And then I run it to the other unit that transmits it back into USB, and into our Cerbo we go, and all our data comes up on our touch. So now I've got alternator data, and this works. It shows all the incoming amperage for your DC-DCs or solar. Obviously we're still mounting some of this stuff up, so when we get when we ship one of these out, everything's nice and clean and tidy. We make all our interconnect cables the right length to whatever your specification is. Cool system. It's fun to share this stuff, and we've had a lot of fun building these. We've put them in several boats, and it's just amazing. If you have a generator, we can, you know, reduce generator runtime down to like 30%. Sometimes even get rid of the generator completely. Which, you know, if you're going to continue using the generator, which is not bad, but with a hybrid system now, that generator is going to last, you know, 10 times as long. And so it can be a good investment with generators costing what they do. You know, generator replacement can be anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 for a medium-sized generator, and one of these systems is less than that. So, and you get a lot of benefit. You don't have to listen to the noisy generator all the time. So great modular setup for larger boats and sailboats. We can build them a little bit smaller with just 2 batteries. But it's we've had a lot of good feedback on these. And give us a call if you have any interest, and if you have any questions, we're happy to help you with your setup. If you like the video, like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and give us a shout out at Marine Diagnostic Services on Facebook. And you have a good one. See you next time.